You ever look at somebody's gameplay and say, dang, I'm never gonna get to that level? Or you ever have somebody come up to you and say, bro, you should just quit, you're trash, yada yada. I know it's happened to all of you because it's happened to me a million times, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why you should not be discouraged by others. Everybody starts somewhere, and every single pro has been exactly where you are now. It doesn't matter where you are now. You could be unable to crank 90s, and every single pro has been there. You could be at the point where you're placing like top 500 in every tourney, but struggling to get to the next level, and let me tell you, every single pro has been there. Really, all that matters is that you love what you're doing and you want to improve. If that's the case, you're going to see improvements in the long run. Back like 5 seasons ago, I could barely make champs, and now I can make champs with no problem, and I'm starting to place pretty well in tournaments. A few seasons ago, I averaged around 2,000th in solo cash cups, and now I'm averaging around top 500. I can't tell you how many times I've been told to quit the game, how many times I've been hated on in my videos. People would come to my tutorials that are meant for beginners and say, you literally are trash at the game, why are you even making a tutorial? Those comments never really got to me because I knew I was on my own journey and I didn't need other people judging me along the way. Everybody's at different levels in the game, and no matter where you are, you should be happy with where you are, but still want to improve. So when I got those comments, I would literally just think to myself, I'm way better than I was before, and I'm making tutorials for people that are struggling to get to the point where I'm at. I knew I wasn't a pro, but I knew I was 10 times better than I was a few months ago. And if I kept improving at that rate, one day I would make it to be a pro. You see what I mean? Don't let other people knock your grind because they were at your point once and it's so easy for you to catch up to them. If they're spending their time hating on your stuff, then they're probably never gonna make it in this field. And if you just keep on spreading positivity and keep grinding, you'll eventually make it way further than they will. That's just a fact, dude. Positivity brings you further in life than being good at something and being negative. You'll make it 10 times further than them any day. Let me just tell you, I've been doubted a million times before actually making it in YouTube, and I've also been doubted in the competitive field, which I haven't made it yet, but I'm getting really close. Let me throw a few examples out there. So I used to work in a restaurant, and one time all of my managers gathered upstairs and called me up, and then when I got there, they started making fun of me for trying to make it as a gamer. Literally laughing in my face, saying I was wasting my time and being an idiot kid, and I didn't let that ruin my grind. When they were saying all that stuff, I was like, they're calling me an idiot, but they're the actual idiots because they don't know anything about the gaming industry. So they're calling me an idiot for them not knowing their stuff. And then one day I made it as a gamer, and when I did that, they were all like, oh, good job, we're so proud of you. And I was like, oh, I quit. That was just one story out of tons. I can't tell you the amount of times that people have doubted me on my grind. Not everybody's gonna make it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. You gotta have backup plans. Like while I was trying to make it as a gamer, I was going to school, studying, building a lot of career paths for myself, learning how to edit, learning how to graphic design. I had so many backup plans, but I still kept grinding because this was my main dream. I really wanted to make it in this field, and I didn't care how many people were gonna try to discourage me from that. Even today, when I'm doing this full time and making pretty good money, like I still have people telling me, dude, you're so smart, you should just go back to college and get a real job. People are gonna doubt you all throughout your life, and the only way you're gonna get past that is just by knowing what you're doing and not letting it bother you and handling it maturely. So it was actually my friend's dad. He had said that, you know, you're so smart, you should go back to school. You were always so good at school, and I don't know why you didn't keep going on with that. He's like, just take my advice, trust me. Go back to school and you'll be much happier. And so instead of trying to argue back and be like, bro, shut up, I just said, thank you for the advice. I'll consider it. When in reality, I'm not going back to school anytime soon, if ever. I know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna say thanks for the advice. You know, that's the mature way to handle it, and I didn't let that get into my head. What's funny is that his daughter was right there, and when the dad walked away, his daughter knew all about the gaming industry and was like, yeah, just ignore him. A lot of people don't understand YouTube, don't understand the gaming industry, and a lot of times it's better to just say thanks and move on. But obviously, sometimes you can't walk away from a conversation like that. For example, your parents might be the ones doubting what you're doing. in that case, you're probably going to have to explain to them how the gaming industry works. The way I got my parents on board was explaining it in a way they could understand. You could try to show them statistics of the gaming industry growing and how many people are blowing up on YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff every day. Or you can try to explain it to them in a way that they already know. For example, actors, they take a big risk trying to make it in the movie industry or theater industry. And gaming is very similar to that. It's live entertainment, just like theater is live entertainment. And you take a big risk trying to put time towards that, but you could try to explain to them it's something you love and you want to put time towards that because you want to take that risk and try to make it in the gaming industry. That's how I got my parents on board. I explained it through acting and through musicians. How musicians, they have Spotify and they post songs and then they do live concerts. It's very similar to the YouTube and Twitch industries. There's so many good ways to explain gaming, and I guarantee if you do your research and really think about how you want to explain it, you could convince anybody that it's actually something worth pursuing. Anyways, back onto the topic of Fortnite. Like I said earlier, everyone starts somewhere. Everybody's been where you are now. And it's really never too late to get into the game and try to make it as a competitive player. I get asked so frequently on my Twitch, is it too late to start the grind in competitive? Is it impossible to reach? And the answer is no, because there's new pro players popping up all the time, just like random people making it as pro players. And basically what happens is they're grinding for a really long time, and then the game suddenly clicks for them. It's like they knew how to play the game for so long, they were trying to make it, they were struggling, but one day it clicks and they make it as a pro. This has happened for so many people recently, and I'm coming up next this year. You know it. Really, there's just a few steps to making it as a pro player, and I made a video recently called How I Improved in Fortnite on my main channel, Jivin TV, which goes over these steps in detail, but the steps in brief are: 1, get your mechanics up. 2, get your fighting sense up. Learn how to handle every situation in fighting. That way you never feel lost in a fight and you know how to counter everything. 3, get your game sense up. Learn rotates and learn how to play stacked tournaments. Step 4 is gain consistency. Once you can consistently pull off all the fighting moves you know, never miss your shots, never miss your edits, you'll start winning every single fight in arena and cash cups. And then the last step is just getting the mentality of a pro player, gaining the confidence and clear-headedness in tournaments that you need to have clutch moments and perform well in endgames. Once you have all that stuff, you have what it takes to be a pro. I simplified it a lot, but that's really all it is. It can take years for some people, like it did for me, or it can take a few months for other people that are just naturally gifted. No matter who you are, it's not going to come easy and it takes lots of grinding, so you need to love the game and really want to improve to get there. Another thing is finding teammates is a big struggle, especially if you're newer to the comp scene. So you need to make sure that you're just getting yourself out there playing all the solo tournaments. That way you can find teammates in the long run. It's something you have to work towards in the long run, but once you get your skill to that level and start placing well in solo tournaments, doing really well in solo arena, gaining a lot of knowledge about how to work endgames and play as a duo and trio, you should be able to find some good teammates. Last thing is that you should never look at somebody who's way better than you and get discouraged by that. Instead, you should look at them and see them as motivation to improve. Try to learn from them, learn their techniques, learn why they're so good, and use that as inspiration in your practice to try to get to the level where they're at. I watch pro players all the time, and I'm always learning new stuff every single time I watch them. Back in the day, I might have looked at them and been like, wow, they're way better than me. But I didn't let that knock my grind. Instead, I used it as motivation to get better faster. It's possible for anybody, and if you have the motivation and desire to do so, you can make it. Just make sure you have backup plans like I did. Otherwise, you're gonna drive yourself crazy and probably get really demotivated. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of a random topic, but I think some people needed this. Don't forget to hit that like button, sub if you're new, use code JivinTV, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.